Okay, it's time for an update. I've actually tried to record this update, several times, and I have recorded it several times, and then I just don't edit it and post it. So we're gonna try to actually get this done this time. I am getting ready to go to Food Truck World or something with my brother. He wants to take his girlfriend, so I'm going to take him. But updates, I am still doing IUI. It's been a journey. So just to recap, I did my IUI in December. That ended in a chemical, you guys know that. And then I didn't try in January. One, I needed to heal, I needed to process, and then also, sorry, giving the dogs their medicine. I needed to heal and I needed to process, but also the timing. It was like during holidays, like I think my ovulation day was going to be like January 1st, January 2nd, something like that. And I was like, I didn't want to deal with the stress of trying to get sperm delivered and then get into the clinic. So I didn't do January. February, March, I had this whole February and March. So last year during open enrollment, I got a much better insurance plan, obviously, because I was expecting to need better insurance for delivery for baby. But that was taking up all of the money that I was previously using to take care of my IUI expenses was now going to the insurance. My employer doesn't provide insurance, so it was like $700 something a month out of pocket to pay my new insurance, which means I didn't have anything left over to save for my IUI, or I have like $100 left to save for my IUI each month. And that was just going to obviously take forever to get the almost $3,000 that I need for the next try. So I was keeping that February, March. I was just trying to figure out a way to make it work without giving up the insurance. When I realized it wasn't going to work, I canceled that insurance at the end of March. So then I was ready to try. April would have been cutting it close financially. May I could have tried, but May I was traveling for my birthday. I went to Denver to meet my friends, to hang out with my friends. So I obviously didn't want to, I was traveling during my ovulation window, and I didn't want to have to figure out trying to like do that all while I was there. So we just skipped May. So that brings us into June. Today is June. I could theoretically try this week. I am expected to start my period in the next like 4 or 5 days. I could try this month. I was going to try this month, but finances are still going to be a little bit close. I did a little bit of splurging to like dress up the apartment a little bit. You'll notice that I have different bookshelves probably. I mean, depending on how close you paid attention in past videos. Stop. Depending on how close you paid attention in past videos, you'll notice that the bookshelves are different. I just did some like organization stuff to make this apartment work a little bit better for me because my storage solutions weren't great. And like I got this like console stand, this buffet thing for storing pots and pans because my kitchen is way too small. I don't have any kitchen storage, and I knew that was going to be a problem with baby regardless. I needed something else. I needed another storage solution. So I did spend a good couple $100 in May just getting this apartment to a place that's a little bit better, a little bit more functional for what I'm going to need it for in these next steps. So I'm just a couple $100 short for doing this month. Like I could still theoretically do it, but then I'm like, what if I need an extra ultrasound or the meds are higher than they were last time or something? I'm just like trying to plan ahead for that, and I don't want to put myself in a tight space. So like theoretically, yes, I could try this month. I could start another IUI cycle next week, but I'm going to wait until next month just so I have a little bit more wiggle room, a little bit more comfort. That way I can plan for any unexpected expenses that come up, whether it be, you know, if I need an oil change, if the dogs need to go to the vet or something, I wouldn't have put myself in too tight of a spot to get myself out of that. So I'm just gonna wait one more month, and that'll be fine, which works for me anyway, because I already said that, like, I was trying to rush it because the blood work that I did back in September of last year for my first cycle, though my clinic is only going to keep that valid for a year. So by September, I would need to redo all that testing, like $1,800 worth of blood work. And I really didn't want to have to pay that. But then I remembered, like, I already said that this was my last IUI anyway. This next cycle will be my last IUI regardless before I move to IVF. So by the time I get to IVF, like by the time I've saved for IVF and gotten ready for that, like my blood work is going to need to be redone anyway. So one more month isn't going to kill anything except for my excitement. Like I'm ready. I want to start now, but I'm just going to be smart about it. I'm going to wait 1 more month. There's going to be more updates. I have another video for you. Somebody had left a question on one of my other videos about like wanting to hear about my process in choosing a sperm donor, what I felt was important to me. And as luck would have it, my sperm donor from December did sell out. So I needed to go through the process of choosing a new donor. So I'll talk through that in the next video. I will explain a little bit about like what I was looking for, what I was able to find, what was important to me. And that's going to be different for everyone. But I know that as somebody who's going through this journey, I know that those are videos that are nice to watch. So that is my very quick update. We'll see. I'm gonna post this one regardless. I might include some footage of like the food truck world that we're about to go to. I might include some like B-roll of that and try to make this more vloggy. Get this channel a little bit more able to provide updates even when there's nothing going on in my IUI journey. So maybe I'll include some of that, but I'm not going to hold this video up on that. Regardless, this is going out. I will catch you guys in a couple weeks. We'll be 4 weeks, there'll be another update when I'm starting my next IUI cycle.